Oh, by the way, if you can hear me, babe, can you grab me some coffee? I forgot if she can hear me. Watch this. Watch. Watch. I see. She just grabbed me. I forgot to grab that out of the kitchen. It's not like I have her get my coffee and shit. All right, everybody, just calm down. Okay, just calm down. Watch. All right. Be like, see. I'm just gonna put coffee, please, just to annoy at least one per. Oh, hey, what's going on? Yeah, can you grab me a cup of coffee, please? I'm just letting everybody know that I'm not telling you to get me coffee. I'm asking. Because some people are sensitive about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Where'd you go? All right. All right, you guys ready to rock and roll? The Rocci Stucci Show, broadcasting on this ice cold 70 some degree day today. I'm wearing my sweatshirt. All right, you guys ready? I am. Let's go. Elon Musk, I got questions. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have an alert. We do have a quick alert for you. We're going to call this the Crackhead alert. We have a situation right now, literally right outside the studio again. I don't know what happens. It's like this shit just follows me. I'm not even lying. It's like everywhere I go, there's just some shit going down, man. It's maybe that's why I'm so good at video. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of came together. Hold on, I need a minute. It needs to resonate. All right, so here's the situation. 2 weeks ago, 2 doors down from my house, there's a guy. He resisted. He got shot and killed by the police. And so now it's interesting because I'm new to Florida, and I am new to Florida, and there's a whole. Well, I was probably annoying people if you could see that my string was way uneven. It's so weird because when you're in Texas, there's like a whole different type of Mexican. You know what I'm saying when I say that? Like here in Florida, it's like these are the ones with money. These are the ones with like down in Miami. They're not showing up illegally crossing the border. They're showing up in their freaking $3 million little toy. What do you call those things that you ride on the water that look like motorcycles? Skidoos, jet skis. Yeah, those motorcycle water things. It's different, right? So the people are different too. It's the homeless people are different. It's the drugs are different. So over here, there's a whole bunch of meth. So I'm a mile away from the beach, just north of Clearwater. I can probably be to the Clearwater beach, which is a really nice beach. It's the white sand beach. I could probably be there in about 45 minutes. I could walk to the ocean from my home maybe in about an hour. It's about a mile away. I'm just, that's a casual walk. I mean, everybody's timing this shit out all of a sudden. Don't do the math in your head. There's a lot of traffic. People die on Highway 19 here. So with that being said, it's something I've been kind of trying to observe is warm weather pretty much year round, except this, sporadic government controlled, ice storms that come out of nowhere in tropical weather. Um, but not, in Minnesota and Wisconsin, New York, Washington, all these different states I lived in, that was a different type of homeless person. It was, man, they look like Eskimos almost. They did, just because when they say thick skin, it's, man, uh, we lose our shit when it gets to be 50 degrees. I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now. It's going to be like 70 something today. These son of a bitches, man, they hunker down when it's like 10 below zero up north. They don't even blink an eye about it. But my point is that anywhere you go, it kind of seems like the demographics of the homeless people, the drugs, the behavior, everything's kind of different based off of environment. And so here, there's a shit ton of meth and a shit ton of that ice and all that kind of shit, And you see, it's crazy. You see, like these men and women walking down Highway 19, and it's just like 3 years ago, you could have seen an everyday business person. It's crazy how this shit just literally turns you into this walking apocalyptic zombie. And so theft, because everybody wants to tweak out, they're up for days on end, so they're different kind of people. When you're geeked out for days, you're just, I mean, you go try to talk to somebody who hasn't slept in 4 days, all tweaked out on the bubble. You know what I'm saying, man? I don't know why I know that language. I've seen some documentaries. That's all I'm trying to say, you know? No, I say that because I've done it all. I've been addicted to all of it. I've done meth, I've done glass, I've done it all. Um, I did a lot of meth when I was in Washington, when I was in the music business. Um, so across the street, so okay, so it's really weird. We have this one lady, and she's hard. She's from, she's not, she's hard, man. She's like, she's fucking been around. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like when you see her, it's just you don't know if she wanted to fight you, you're fighting back. It's all. That's the only way I can put it. It really is. If she came up to me and got up in my shit, I don't know what else I would have to do because I couldn't really truly identify her origins of species. You know what I'm saying? Holy shit. Um, yeah, so it's the whole origin of species thing. Hey, what's going on, Josh? So she gets mad at the people next door. And so when she gets mad at the people next door, then she goes and puts a sign out in the front yard that says fentanyl pushers. And then she has a big arrow pointing over to their house. Yeah, and that's what I see. That's my scene, right? I live a mile away from the ocean. And when you look out my front window, you see freaking, you know, some new age alienistic gladiator putting signs in the yard. All, she says, she's sober, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, you know, and so now, right now, there's some shit going on because the guy next door does, and is a big issue, and it makes me uncomfortable because there has been needles that have been found outside. There has been needles that have been found out in the street, and so they have problems. And I'm not degrading anybody for addiction. I'd be a hypocrite if I did because I was the best drug addict that I knew. But when it becomes the concern of the environment and people around, and when you live in a neighborhood that there's a bunch of children, that's concerning. Now I don't get involved in it. My point is that there's shit going down right now, and I don't know what it is. Lisa just came and told me that the sheriffs are over there. The sheriffs are like always over there, and apparently there's restraining orders. People are getting kicked out and all this. It's just whatever, man. But it's just. If you could watch that, it's almost like it's like a real life Jerry Springer thing, and it's really sad in a really, really real way, because that's what is that, and that's where I beat myself up. I'm like, what is that? What is that? I mean, is that existence? I mean, I was that. I used to pass out sitting up in the middle of a conversation. I used to get so high, I used to just be like out cold. What kind of existence is that? And this is coming from somebody who's done it. You think about those years of my life that I used at the levels I did, and it's like, I don't remember any of it. You look at pictures and it's like, holy shit, I don't remember that time. I don't remember that time. It's weird. And so, then all of a sudden it's like, you kind of get that shit figured out, and if you ever think the shit's going to go away, hold on a second. Let me tell you something. Just because you quit something doesn't mean it's this blessing of forgiveness, right? Just because you go into treatment doesn't mean it's some automatic blessing that all is going to be okay and all your problems are fixed, right? No, what it means is that you got to face your bullshit sober. That's what it means. Let me help you out on that. So let me give you the best encouragement I can. If you're going through that stage in your life and you're fighting through shit and you're hitting that shit hard, man, I've been there. I'm not judging. Trust me, I'm there with you. I get it, But I think where we fail a lot of people, especially within the treatment system that has a 97% fail rate, is the fact that we don't really prepare them psychologically. We have this whole thing, hey, go do the steps. All right, cool. Go do the steps. Go do whatever, you think that program is. But there's not one singular way, right? So we can do the 12 steps or whatever kind of steps or whatever. There's not a singular way. And I think that's where we're starting to kind of go wrong, is that we're creating policies for behavior. And it's just like everybody has their own system. Everybody has their own way of doing things. But where we're failing is the coddling of what caused all the issues, and not continuing to remind the people, man, you fucked up. You fucked up. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad you're in that place, right? But let me remind you, you fucked up. And let me remind you that after you get sick for the next 2 weeks, and then for the 2 weeks after that, you're going to start going through your nightmares because you're going to start remembering all the bullshit you did. And then you got to start coming to the conclusion that the entire time you've been blaming the world, it really wasn't the world's fault. Yeah, that's the hardest fucking part. Ooh, let me, coffee. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. But yeah, so that's the thing is the preparation. So you come from that. You come from it. I come from it. I get it. I'm more comfortable around people like that. That's the craziest thing. Um, but then I sit and look at this situation, and I look out the window. It's just like, will some people never escape it. I was gonna say, will they escape it? I think it's safer to say that some people never escape that. They will go. They will go their whole life wrestling with the monster because they're wrestling with the monster in a way that we told them to do it, instead of just do what the fuck is right for you. You know, um, just because I have a view on certain things, I don't have your experiences. You don't have mine. So your actions in some things will have a different conclusion compared to mine. It's and that's what I say when it comes to podcasting. You know, if you ever get into podcasting, let me help you. I'm going to get into Elon Musk. We're going to talk about this. I mentioned something earlier on a show a couple weeks ago that I had concerns, but my concerns were minimal compared to some of the concerns that I've grown to have now. And I want to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. Just bear with me for a second. Um, what's up, Mary? I was talking about addiction. And when you look at where people, I don't even know where I was at. Damn it. Why do I do that shit? Anyways, whatever, man. Whatever. Oh, I hate when I do that. It's always fun being in jail. Oh, 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 yeah. Okay, Josh, when you read that, I went through my chest just a little bit, bro. I've been there. I've been there. Especially, there's people that they have just such a heroin addiction, or the government's fix to heroin addiction isn't just to have somebody get sick for a week. The government's fix is just to put you on methadone, and shit, I know people that have been on the methadone program for 3-4 years. And so when they first created the methadone program, it was to help you not be as sick. And so they would put you on methadone, and then for the next 2 weeks or next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they just wean you off the methadone. So they don't use the real drug to wean you off the drug to make that detox a little bit safer. It is safer to slowly wean, but they would just they didn't think that a month was good enough, so they thought they'd just add a few years on, and just in case it was a long detox. That's all. So yeah, that's our system, and that's our fix to everything. That's our fix to everything. So anyway, StucciMedia.com. I appreciate you. Hey, go check it out. The last couple days, I've been busy as shit. Dominic Izzo, a lot of you know who Dominic Izzo is. I started working on a project with him a couple days ago. He has a program called Cop Talk Live. Cop Talk Live. Law enforcement stuff. It's Dominic Izzo. So it's a different brand of material. You can't be an emotional sensitive thingy. You know what I'm saying? But I love the show. It's different. It's unique. It's fresh, and he has great experience and a great perspective on it. But so we created a website for him. It's coptalklive.org. Coptalklive.org. So that's what I do on the side, man. I do reels. I do reels for Chad Prather. A whole bunch of people, man. We got a whole bunch of really cool things going on with Stucci Media. And like I said yesterday, the optimism. It's the first time it's been real in a long time. It's the first time it's been real in a super long time. So when we get there, we'll sit down and I will share my entire journey with everybody. because it's been incredible. And we are talking about putting together a book right now. Who was I talking to yesterday? I can't remember who I was talking to, but there's a small circle group of people that kind of, us men were weird. Sometimes it's easier for us to kind of shut down. We always feel like we're being an inconvenience, or a burden, and sometimes we just think we just got to keep figuring shit out, and sometimes that's wrong. Um, but I was telling a buddy yesterday that so there is going to be a book, and I think I mentioned that before. There's going to be a book about all of it. I just have to make sure I look at all the legalities, because you look at things when you talk about corporations, what you can't say and certain things. I just want to make sure that it's all legit. But it's kind of like a new time, and the reason for this book isn't because there's any uniqueness about my situation compared to the world. There's nothing unique about it. It's the exposure of it. That's really kind of what it is. It's the exposure of it, and that's really all I want. People keep asking me about the lawsuits and lawsuits. This is like there's almost times in life. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I don't want to misrepresent what I'm saying here. But I also want to say, all right, so let me preface that, if in that little kind of subtle way, that sometimes, it's not about that, right? It's not about the lawsuit. It's not about going and finding a daddy to say, fix my problems. Sometimes it's about people really knowing what certain things really are, right? Isn't that what we do? Isn't that why we have some of these conversations? And I'm trying to have fun about certain things, but right now, in current times, I'm uncomfortable with shit. I am. And I know a lot of it has to do with my personal experiences, and so there's certain parts of that were of maybe awakening or realizations or whatever you want to call it. But I just think sometimes conversations need to be had, and sometimes the exposure of things, I think, has more value to it than going and celebrating for 3 days over a lawsuit that cost you thousands of dollars for you to recover a few thousand extra. It's just for money. So if everything's always for money, then technically isn't that just being a sellout? If you're truly for a cause, if you're truly for something. So let me ask this, and I was thinking about this. So, because there's this big conflict in regards to perception, in podcasting, and what people need to do and what they don't need to do, what they need to say, what they don't need to say, how to behave, how not to behave, of corporate people, non-corporate people, money, no money, all this shit. It's like, okay, first off, take all that shit and put it over here and shut up for a second, right? Do your podcast. Do what your heart told you to do. All those dreams you had before you started it, and those ideas that you were thinking of sitting around the fire with all your friends, and the imaginations and all the journeys in the mind that you took because you were dreaming. Get back to that. That's where you start. And then you look at that, all right? Do that. Look at that and look at your product. The world don't know what's best for you. If you want to get to a level in the industry where you want, if you want to get to a level in industry where you want the fruits of your labor, I guess is a good way to put it. If you want the private jets, if you want the nice cars and the big bank accounts and the big walk-in gun safes and the big things that you can show the world, hey, look at me. That's cool, but there's a lot of you, that became a sellout to do it. And I'll tell you why you became a sellout. And sellout's the only word, and I'm not using the word sellout in a derogatory way. I'm saying that you sell out in a way that you walked away from your why. You walked away from your why. Unless your why has never been your actual why, it was just something on the surface to try to sell as marketing material just so you can get what your narcissistic tendencies want to be stroked, right? And that was my biggest conflict with me the last 4 years. The biggest conflict is no, why do I not have to be me, right? Why is everybody so afraid of me? in what I say. And it's like, wait a minute, what the fuck created me? What got me here? And then all of a sudden you get to where you're going and everybody, oh, you can't say this and you can't do that and you can't. It's just like, shut up. And it distorts you. And it takes the fun out of it. It takes the sales out of it. It takes the win out of it. And they scare you financially. And they use that. And so I understand what I see on TV. So the way I react to things on TV is a lot different because I know the bullshit that's going on behind the scenes. And I know there's a lot of people that get up on those microphones and they get up on those TV screens and they say shit that they're trained to say. It's not what they believe. There's a lot of people that talk about Jesus that don't believe in Jesus the way they preach about Jesus. It's the stupidest fucking thing. So you just don't even know it's real anymore. And then when you actually call bullshit out for being bullshit, you're the crazy one. It's like, cool, I will be that guy. No problem. I will be. So you don't have to live in this perception. And I will tell you that I've been doing this shit for a long time. I've been pushing a microphone since I've been 18 years old. I'm 50 fucking one. I know a couple things about the microphone and an audience. And as you notice, I'm not at that place anymore where I'm looking to be that guy because my why has been brought back to its original location. I'm not chasing that corporate dollar no more. I'm chasing my why. I'm chasing the representation, vocalization, determination of making sure that people that have nothing aren't voiceless. The people that are struggling, addiction, homelessness, starving, all these people that were promised all these fucking things. And yet they have to fight so hard for none of it, to have nothing. And I just think that in life, I think we all, as a human being, have the equal opportunity to literally just kind of exist peacefully. We shouldn't have to live with so much chaos in our fucking minds. And that is what bothers me the most about what happens within our political system. The best politics is the politics that affects the biggest parts of our life. Abortion, what we're going to take a piss, cutting the penises off little boys. Those are the things that politics shouldn't really be getting fucking involved with because they create a national debate and create savages within the subject. People get divorces over these conversations. They do. They get divorces over conversations, over policies. Thomas said, you got questions. I got questions, Thomas. I got questions. You know what I'm saying? Joshua says, stay true to yourself and your values, and the rest will fall. And can I just talk about that for a second? And I promise you, there's still plenty of time. I'm going to get into Elon Musk. I got a video here of Candace Owens, and I want to talk about what she talks about in regards to Elon Musk. But we're going to get into it. But I want to say something. Josh in the chat room says, stay true to yourself and your values, and the rest will fall into place. Bro, you're absolutely right. And I just wanted to add to that. Because I want people to be aware that holding your ground in that arena, you're going to get beat up, right? So I remember Jordan Peterson one time, he said, he mentioned something. I know, it's kind of like the reference, you're better off to have a warrior as a gardener than a gardener in a war, or to have a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. There has to be, I realized it. There has to be the balance. There are parts in your life and times in your life and situations in your life where, you can be a little bit more passive and forgiving and loving and namaste. And that's how I want my life. I saw a video the other day of a bunch of hippies up in the mountains, all smoking a bunch of weeds, tripping on mushrooms, playing acoustic guitars and singing. I'm like, I seriously want some of that. Seriously, that's where I'm at, man, because I don't give a shit what their political beliefs are. You know what, man? In that moment of their life, they're all at fucking peace, man, and that's cool. And we all fight so desperately for that. And why would we judge it? You know, why would we judge it? But there has to be a part, because when you try to hold that integrity, that line of integrity, when you try to hold that ground, man, you make decisions that hurt you. You will make decisions that will hurt your family, because the decisions that are to be made they wouldn't be in the best interest, or they would have been something vindictive, or it would have been dirty business, or sneaky shit, and that's most of the industry, and everybody tries to justify it and figure out a way to play victim so it justifies their bullshit. So with that being said, that's why it's always important to have a warrior in a garden, because sometimes you need to call bullshit. And you need to let people know. I told everybody about the story, and I'll tell you again that conversation I had with Gambino in his basement. I was in his wine cellar, and this was like a christening. This was a big moment, man. This was a very honorable thing for me. And when he gave me the wine that he made, 2 bottles. If you know, you know. But when he gave me 2 bottles, he looked at me, and he's strong, super strong Sicilian accent. And, he gets veins and shit. Sicilians, they got a lot of high blood pressure. I'm not Sicilian. I'm Calabrian. We're at the tip of the boot, so we kept all the Sicilians off the mainland. You know what I'm talking about? We took care of that problem, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You go down to Calabria, there's going to be a lot of freaking Stuccis. So it's a beautiful thing. They all kind of look like me. I mean, I get turned on a little bit. I'm like, damn, I'm hot as shit, man. That's what I would look like if I lived there. Moving to Italy, bitches. Gone. When you try to hold good character, you will see you'll always be challenged with that, I guess. They say nice guys finish last. That is a fucking fact. Nice guys finish last. It's because they're always trying to be nice to everybody, even the people that fuck them over. And it's just like, that's why you finish last, when you go and you're in high school or you're in grade school, why do bullies bully the specific kids that they bully? Because they can. It's not this because they can beat the kid's ass, it's because they can get away with it. The kid ain't doing shit about it to stop it, and nor is anybody else. So when that gets empowered, there's something about the human, like when people become successful, I've seen it a million times. If they go big real quick, or they have a video that goes viral, and then they just think they're insta-famous, right? So they go from being a regular, normal person to being this insta-famous prima donna, and then you see how they act differently. You see what power does for some people, or you see what money does for some people. It creates a pseudo-confidence, and it detaches you from some of the realities that you came from, and sometimes that universe up there and that big man upstairs, he'll remind people. Real quick, man. And I see it today. I see it all the time now. I see it with shows. I see it with people, whatever industry, in specific industries that I'm familiar with. And I see the shit get to their head, and then, it goes from being a cause to being about me. And it's just like, it's difficult. It's difficult, but it ain't my world. It ain't my thing. It ain't my concern. So, I don't go there. I worry about this guy. And anybody that I advise, or anybody that I work with, I will say things like that to them, and I will advise them, because, that could technically, even though some things I might say may be uncomfortable for some people, technically maybe in the future, if you're in this industry, you'll either understand at some time, or you'll realize that I was right and you fucked up. There's just too many obvious patterns, and patterns are very important to watch. So, yeah, anyways, don't even know why I went all that down. Oh, it was Josh's comment. So, Josh, man, that's exactly right, bro. And again, I was replying to Josh. He said, stay true to yourself and your values, and the rest will fall into place. It's crazy, dude, when you do that, how many people try to step on your shit. That's the craziest part. That's the part. You realize how alone you are in the world. Real quick, dude. You're just like, where's everybody? So then, you start, I could get into it, because it's weird what the mind does during those moments on how you react to shit. And it's not something you probably all, do all the time. Mary Mansfield, Where is she? Is she over there on YouTube? She's on YouTube. Yeah, we got the YouTube going today. We have Twitter going today. What's up? Oh, here. There you go, conspiracy theorists. We got Twitter going today. We got Rumble going today. What's going on over there at Rumble? Appreciate you. I just started streaming on Twitter and Rumble. I have never done it. Don't even know why I haven't. But yeah, we're streaming over there. I believe we are on Facebook show page and YouTube. I think so. I can't remember. But get on over to the website, stuccimedia.com. We're adding podcasts. We just added Israel's show, the one I just worked on. Go to his website after the show, of course. It's coptalkusa.com. I'm sorry, coptalkusa.org. Coptalkusa.org. I just built that website, worked on some of his graphics for the website. We just kind of redid updated. It's exploding. The show's exploding, so good for him. I was honored to help him out. That's what I do on the side now. We're kicking ass. I got a big meeting today with somebody else at 11. So it's really, really cool what's happening. Get on over. We're pumping media out. We're pumping shows out. StucciMedia.com. You'll notice changes to the site as we progress, but it's at its base right now, and I'm really happy. I'm really, usually I don't say that. Usually I'm just like, it sucks. I'm pissed and can't figure shit out. Something's broke. Links aren't coming up. Pictures aren't showing up. It's usually something, but we're getting there, and it's taken me 2 months. 2 months to get to this point. So I'm really happy about that. See these bags? We need those to go away, and I need to get some of this weight back now because, you get so dialed in on the computer, you feel like a damn crackhead. So Mary Mansfield says, authenticity, here, let me do this. It's easier for my eyes. Authenticity rarely leads to massive popularity, but it's worth it. It might be the only thing we can actually control in our lives. Wow. God, it's so, when I'm reading that, and the last sentence where you say it's the only thing that we can actually control in our lives, it's like, how many people don't even realize that, or they do, but they don't, or they think they do, and they think they got shit under control. Those are the hardest, right? Those are the ones that they think they're good, they think they're good, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm not hyper focused on other people anymore, man. I'm observant towards behavior and patterns. I think that's the best way to put it. And I just don't get it. I am more confused now in my life than I was when I thought I had shit figured out 5 years ago, talking a bunch of shit. I seriously thought, man, man, we're fighting, we're doing this, freedom, man. And a lot of that is still the same. And I push and I poke against the freedom thing. And I do. And I want people to think, I want people to challenge the definition of freedom, but I'm not being derogatory towards a country that I fucking love, right? I love my country. I love my nation. I hate its fucking politics, I hate the division. But what do you expect when you have a little dot on a planet and you say, hey, world, everybody from every tribe, from every religion, from every faith, from every ethnicity, come on over, bitches, let's go. You have to have a standard of living. And we chose Christianity in this country. That's what founded this country. And where we're going wrong is that we veered away and we gave people options. That's where we went wrong. You go to other countries, you go to Mexico, and even though Mexico doesn't have a lot of standards in regards to their political system, they still have a way of living, and they're not going to change it for Americans. You're not going to go to Mexico and see all these extra accommodations, unless they're benefiting or profiting from it. Authenticity. Yeah, that's crazy. We're getting way too deep this morning. I wasn't supposed to. I mean, we got crackhead wars going on across the street. I'm supposed to be all into that shit. Yeah, I told Lisa, I said, listen. I said, have the phone ready. I said, I will get you the link. I said, if shit starts going down, don't mess with my shit. I said, call me. Come into the show, and I said, we're going to film it. I said, you go right on scene. I can do that. I got the capabilities going live right now. So if shit goes down, we're going live. We are going live. So anyways, I want to do this really quick because I want everybody's opinion in regards to Candace Owen having a conversation, I think, with Piers Morgan. And she said some things here in regards to, now I brought up Elon Musk. I brought up Elon Musk a couple of weeks ago. And at the time, my concern about Elon Musk, I even posted a video on TikTok about it, just stating that, if we're going to sit here and be the conspiracy and analysis or analysts that we are, and we're going to and get really mad at people like the fact that there's 5 corporations that own 90% of the media, and we get really mad about that because it's dangerous. But I just thought it was weird that people celebrate Elon Musk like literally wanting to buy the world, and he wants to be like the technological god. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know any other way to say it like that. I wish I would have had dramatic music ready to go. Dun, dun, dun. In my head, I heard it. I don't know. In my head, I heard it. So, and I'm not trying to, I don't want to poke bears at the administration. Lord knows they already have enough going on. I know that, a lot of people were kind of set aside because, he don't get an office in the White House. Why should he? Where did he come from? I mean, I didn't vote for him. Why would he get a seat in the White House? Irregardless of what he's doing or what he's part of, there's a lot of other important people, too, that are part of the White House that have been in the system for a long time that know the game and understand the game really well. There's certain things that are just weird. And sometimes he acts goofy, and it makes me feel weird, And sometimes I think he's a fucking robot. You ever think that? Did you see that video during the inauguration where, his eyes, I know what he was doing, and I believe he is on the spectrum. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's on the spectrum. But they showed a video of him where he was panning the audience during the inauguration or one of the events, where he, did the whole stupid ass, whatever you want to call it, the thank you that we're still hearing about, and that every other politician has had a picture done exactly like, whatever. It's just that's the petty shit I just have such an issue with. But his eyes were going all weird. He was going up, over, left, right, down, up, and he was panning, right? He was scanning. But man, maybe he's a super smart dude, right? And their brains work differently. So maybe that was like his brain like downloading like way more information than our brains download. So his eyes just work differently. But I got like the heebie-jeebies when I saw that shit, Yeah, he is on the spectrum. All right, thank you, Mary. That's what I thought. I'm careful with that. I don't want to just assume it. I know he has a lot of behavior patterns of somebody that would be. Just the way he carries himself, the way he talks. And then when I was watching that, right, and that was another thing. So with him being on the spectrum, even if it was mild, even if he was mildly on the spectrum, there's certain things within the spectrum that will trigger somebody that's autistic. And like my boys were different lights and sounds. My middle boy had to wear earphones all the time, the earmuffs all the time, because sound, loud noises, it irritated, it triggered him. And so maybe that was part of his what you were seeing was his brain just downloading this shit. Do you remember that one guy who flew in a helicopter around New York City? And just one passed by New York City. He was a high level autistic young man. So he had many more struggles. But he had this ability of this photographic memory. And he took that one look at New York City, and he went, and I think it was like the size of a chalkboard that he drew this on, and he drew the detail was so incredible. And so you sit there and it's just like, wow, man, could you imagine if we used just like 5% more of our brain? Because I think right now we're down to like under 1% for some people. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming, somebody fact check that, but I think the average, I'm kidding. I'm just saying, but I want it to be not true. I don't even know why I said it like that. But yeah, that's what I feel like, I guess. It feels like we're not even utilizing 1%. Why do I say that? Okay, because everybody believed the whole Kamala Harris thing. The fact that she was an imbecile for 3 years and 6 months and never even heard from her, really, you know what I'm saying? There's never, except the school buses. Oh, I love school buses. You sure do. Because that's where your food shows up in. But in a week, they changed her whole identity right in front of our eyes. It was like a magic trick. It was like we witnessed a shift of a matrix. literally in front. You know how they say, what does that affect? What does that affect? Asperger's. Correct, bro. Correct. That's it. Um, Mandela effect. It's like they triggered the Mandela effect. They just hit a button, and we are conscious during the switch. We are conscious to sit here and to tell the American people that not at one time she was ever designated border czar. When we have media files, we can literally poop an article that says that. It's not buried in some chamber somewhere where you need a military to go find it to prove it. But people still believe that it's that's the shit I don't get, right? So I don't even know how to articulate the shit. That's what I don't understand. Is that we witness that, right? We can watch Building 7 drop. We can watch Building 7 drop. We can watch it be literally, we can watch Building 7 be detonated. Because that's what it was. They admitted that, right? So not false information. They admitted it. They said they had to have it pulled because the furniture was so hot in the building that the FBI had all their files in. The super secure building was so hot from the couches in one of the offices, so they just had to pull it. They just had to pull it. Okay, so you're telling me that people worked in a building full of dynamite? Because I wouldn't. Is that one of your murder? Is that going to be like the future thing? Is we just constantly are working in buildings that have dynamite in it, that all it takes is a push of a button just in case, there's a furniture fire and you need to drop the building? That's how we're living now, right? But no, we're going to believe the bullshit that it dropped because the furniture was so hot that it bent and melted metal. That's what we're going to believe. All the information is at the palm of our hand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Whew. I got to catch my breath. This shit gets me fired up. All right, Mary says, when it comes to Kamala, so many people believe the change because they wanted to believe it. The Trump derangement syndrome is strong. Mary, you should call in sometime. You should come in for a whole show. We just talk about this shit. My biggest thing, and this is kind of what I'm afraid about Elon, is the God mentality, right? The over worshiping of any individual concerns me because you become, you're not as observant to certain behaviors. You're more forgiving towards bad behaviors, and you will defend the wrong behaviors. It's all of it. All of the above is just, I think when we start thinking that somebody is our God and they're the when we talk about Trump is going to do everything he can. I know that for a fact. And damn, the shit he's done already, just like what he's done with North Carolina, coming in and the water in California, giving the water back to the people. The things he's done already has been incredible. But the unfortunate part is we have a bunch of psychopaths out there that aren't as pro-American as Trump. So they're going to do everything in their power to resist every single thing he's going to try to do. And I was telling a buddy the other day, my biggest concern is who's going to be up next after Trump. Are we going to be able to get somebody in with similar, ideologies, in regards to the roots of the American value? Or are we going to get some kind of Republican plant? Or is it going to be because, they're working right now. They're looking for another Barack Obama hypnotist type of guy because they need help. They are lost, and they don't really have an identity right now because the Democratic Party, it's too tribal. There's too many different ideologies within one room of people voting, and they all have their own personal interests, and that's where they went wrong. That's what happens when you try to accommodate to the world, because now the world is bringing, look at the state of Minnesota. They have a whole completely different flag. You almost feel like you're going to Somalia. People outside doesn't. Oh no, okay, cool. But you know what? It's their colors and everything looks pretty damn similar. All right, so we can at least admit that. No, oh no, it's a different shade of green. Got you. Okay, my bad. It's a whole different region. No, not even kind of. Okay, all right, sounds good. Oh, you want to know my sources? Okay, yeah, that's the world we live in. It's kind of intolerable to me, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna play this. Let me pull it up. I thought I had it queued up, but apparently I didn't, and I'm gonna have to pause it real quick. No, sorry, it's not that one. Oh, that one was about Girl Scout cookies. I just want to let everybody know. Um, I'll play the video. What time is it? We got time. I'll play it. Girl Scout cookies. They found a whole shit ton of bad shit, man. Arsenic. The peanut butter cookies are the worst. It's my fave. You know what I mean? In the refrigerator, cold. All right, let's check it out. So let me do this. I'm going to do the screen share. I'm not getting volume, and that's okay. Let me do screen. Let me do Facebook. Okay, I'll do share. Boom. And I'll figure out why I'm not getting a volume here. That's probably why.
Actually buying a seat at the table, which is what he's done. Because
So let me.
Excuse me.
you did disagree on Elon Musk. You said that he was a superhero, and I didn't say that he hadn't done superheroic things. You know, I thought that he was going to rescue speech on X. Even that's up for debate now, given the H-1B visa debate. But I was never keen on him essentially buying a seat at the table, which is what he's done, because we don't know what Elon Musk believes. You know, I am a Christian conservative. Elon Musk, of course, is going to be at odds with me and my beliefs because he wants to put brain chips in people's minds. He wants to go to Mars. You know, these things conflict with me theologically. I think he's a transhumanist. What are his perspectives on marriage? He's had how many different women? I think he has up to 13 different children.
You know, that's something. First off, can somebody confirm you guys hear the audio from that audio from Facebook? That's something I want to ask real quick too. Is that, you know, there's a lot of things in regards to like his vision that may align or not align with a lot of people's, you know, values, especially when it comes to technology. And there's parts of me when I talk about the God mentality. There's parts of me sometimes that I almost feel like he almost thinks he is. Like he's somewhere in that divine realm, and because if you look at some of the jewelry that he wears and some of the symbolism that he represents, some of the behavior and some of his language, and then he might be a fucking alien, man. Now that I'm really thinking about this shit, that's just kind of settled in. I'm starting to get speculation. I'm starting to get speculation that Elon Musk might have some alien shit going on. You know what I mean? I don't know, but come on. I mean, whoo, Candace. Continue.
What is Elon Musk's endgame? And we have not seen people interview him fairly. They're either incredibly hostile to him, like you saw with Don Lemon, or they're too friendly to him, and which they just see.
Can I ask you guys something real quick while we go here? And I'll go back. What's that lady on the bottom? Did she do something different with her lips? You see that? Because it's just like half of her mouth is missing, and then they just show up as these little pucker things that are coming out of nowhere. Is that fake lips? What am I looking at there? Is that real? I've never seen a human with a mouth like that before. But anyways, back to business.
Him as a superhero. And I would actually like to see someone sit down and flesh out what Elon Musk actually believes. What is his goal? What is he trying to contribute? Because I don't think you can say that you are a conservative if you are not ultimately trying to conserve the nuclear family unit. And I don't think that he's trying to do any of those things. And so we're now seeing that, okay, maybe this is about AI for him. Maybe this is about data collection for him. Maybe this is about him wanting to be the first person.
Just because you have a lot of baby mamas doesn't necessarily mean that you're anti-family. It just means that he's just not made for that. You know, I don't think that would be a proper assessment and judgment just because of his whole personal life. Like I said, everybody lives different and everybody has different views, and nobody will ever have the same view on anything. But I think at the end of the day, the consensus needs to be what is best for the nation overall. What is the best case out of every decision you have to make overall? Because not one of them is going to be the exact perfect decision, right? And every single one of them is going to be supported with its flaws. And so if that's going to be a flaw that we're going to dissect, I think that would be unfair, because I can probably start dissecting Candace's past. She can probably start dissecting mine, and then we can start playing that fucking game. You know, so I mean, we could sit here and point out ways if somebody could be very unchristian. I could do that all day. I got a whole list. So there's certain areas in certain arenas that we need to kind of tiptoe a little bit carefully, especially as a conservative voice to America, in regards to representation, certain standards, and not being a hypocrite behind that.
and getting a leg into federal governments so that he can do things that are on a larger scale in terms of artificial intelligence. I don't know the answer to that, and not knowing the answer to that made me uncomfortable when people did what we always speak against, which is
That's the part that I agree 1,000% is the fact is that it's like he is infiltrated, right? Just like Bill Gates has, and just like all these other people have that we disagree with. They've infiltrated their way up into the government to give them powers that other corporations can't get. And that is a concern of mine because, you know, he starts throwing little things into your speeches about going to Mars and doing this and doing all that. And it's like, well, we have NASA for one, you know, and there's a bunch of other companies out there, but it's almost like, you know, he was mad because he lost his seat in the White House. And it's I'm confused. I'm just confused on, you know, what is his place? You know, besides what Donald Trump gave him in Vivek, gave them to do in regards to, you know, cutting down on some finances. I don't know what his role is, but he seems to be everywhere. And he seems to be showing up a lot, having a lot of opinions on certain policies and even what other countries do now. And it's just like, well, now you're sitting here and having vocal opinions about policies. Nobody's ever voted for Elon Musk a day in their life on anything. So the only thing I'm just saying is that, you know, we need to just, you know, whoa, you know, who's Elon Musk?
Is essentially turn him into a celebrity, that worship him like he's Taylor Swift, and think that because he's got tons of money and bought X, that he's now suddenly allowed to direct us on politics. I just am not into celebrity worship culture.
Celebrity worship culture. Damn! That is the real so celebrity worship culture. Edward Bernays. If you go just watch, there's videos out there on his work, but he also authored a book called Propaganda, and I can't remember when this was. It could have been in like the 50s, a long time ago, maybe, I don't know, 60s. But he kind of mastered that. He's the one that kind of incorporated that into American society. He worked with a lot of retail companies, but he also got a phone call from a political candidate who was doing terrible in the polls, and they got a hold of Edward Bernays to come up with a propaganda marketing campaign, right? I mean, that's what we call it. Call it whatever you want. Some people call it marketing, but marketing is a form of propaganda because we're trying to change and convince people to think. You know, we want them to buy our product, so we're going to create propaganda to try to convince them to buy our product. So it's propaganda. And so what they did was they went to all these celebrities, and I don't know if they took care of them, if they paid them, if they made, you know, create a contract. I don't know how they did it, but they got these celebrities at that time to come forward and praise this guy, and to do, you know, have these public appearances out of nowhere that were like really cool things, and it's that's where that turn, you know, that's where all that started happening, and we start creating this celebrity mentality. I mean, how many people voted for Biden just because Taylor Swift said, hey, go vote for Biden? You know what I'm saying? So the whole celebrity mentality thing is super freaking dangerous.
Did disagree on Elon Musk. You said that he was a superhero, and I didn't say.
So I am curious. So that's the end of the video, though. So I'm curious on everybody's thoughts. You guys go, looks like a butthole. What? It does look, Josh, bro, seriously. All right, so now that video is done, and then I'll play that one other video before we go out here. But so look at that. I don't get it. Here, I don't know if you guys can see the mouse on the screen or not. Here, there we go. I mean, so there's supposed to be lip here, right? There's supposed to be something there. I'm assuming. And then I'm assuming there's supposed to be, and like, is there a way that, ladies, you train your mouth? Like, is there a way you can suck in? Like, do you have a lollipop in your mouth and then you just suck real hard all day and train the edges of your lips to get sucked in? How do you do that? And then she only puts lipstick. Why don't you put lipstick on the inlip? Because that's what we're calling it. It's the inlip, right? You know what I'm saying? The inlip. All right. And then I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. It probably confuses dogs, too, when dogs try to go up and kiss her. They probably think it's the butthole. So they probably sniff her lips for identification. You know what I'm saying, bro? Damn. I just came up with that. All right. So, I got this TikTok video. I want to play it for you. Cult of personalities belong on my playlist, not in my politics. Bro, did that just flow? I mean, dude, that's a t-shirt. That was good, bro. That was real good. This shit just flowed. I love it when shit flows and shit just drops like that. You know what I mean? You go with it. You live with it. It happens on the show all the time, and half the time I get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But so this one lady did a video because she just, I don't know if she found research. I don't know if, I don't know for sure what she found out, how she found out, but we're going to find out right about now because I'm pulling it up. But it has to do with Girl Scout cookies. I'm really sorry, everybody, to break this to you because I know that I always thought that they put like crack cocaine into Girl Scout cookies or something because people literally go fucking crazy over this shit, right? I mean, they're good, especially if you smoke a little before you eat them, you know, especially the peanut butter ones when they're refrigerated, you know. So this is here is the update on what is going on with.
I'm about to be everybody's least favorite person right now. Oh, that's not much different than every other day, but bad news, Girl Scout cookie lovers.
Yeah.
Bad news. 100% of the Girl Scout cookies tested for glyphosate and toxic metals. Aluminum, arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium, the list goes on. I am devastated. And the peanut butter patties have the highest level of heavy metals. My favorite. Thin Mints had the highest level of glyphosate, and 24 out of the 25 samples of Girl Scout cookies tested positive for lead. There is no safe levels of lead. Not to mention that the Girl Scouts allow boys who think they're girls into Girl Scouts. So I won't be buying Girl Scout cookies for the first time ever this year.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to break the news to you. So I don't know. Is that lead poisoning? Could there be a lawsuit? You know, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, so, you know, we have this organization that's supposed to look out to make sure that we put like healthy shit in our body. So we have a list of, you know, the amount of poisons that we can put into our body without dying that, you know, they allow these companies to put into food. So, you know, it's probably, you know, just like with the vaccines, chances are we're screwed. You know what I mean? But arsenic, man, really? Rat poisoning? Lead? You know, I mean, it explains everything. It explains everything. You know, it does. So, folks, hey, I love you. I appreciate you. It has been the Tuesday episode, the Rocci Stucci Show. I think that what we're going to do that on every episode is at the end we'll find a couple videos of some unique information. Unique. You know what I'm saying? Unique. Doesn't matter what it is. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. I believe tomorrow Bauer's coming on. He will be back tomorrow for some more Informatica Nexus style. Bauer has a lot of cool things going on too, and it's been really cool to watch him over the years grow and evolve and go to the next level, man. That takes a lot of work. So we're going to do whatever we can right here on the program for Bauer. And so we're going to go into the Informatica tomorrow, and we're going to talk about, actually we're going to talk about life before death. I love you too, brother. We're going to talk about life before death. Life before birth. Life before death. Life before birth. That's what we're at least going to attempt to talk about. But you know how things go when Brother Bauer comes on to the program. But anyways, folks, this is the conclusion of this edition of the Rocci Stucci Show. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man, for hanging out, for all the love, for all the support. Get on over to the website, stuccimedia.com. We're growing, man. This is super exciting. Optimism is real for the first time in a long time. So thank you. Truly, thank you for not giving up on the meatball. So, ladies and gentlemen, from my family to yours, much love, much respect. And, you know, let's not forget rule number one. You know what I mean? Don't take shit from nobody. I love you guys.